This matchmaking screen will typically decide whether the next 30 minutes of your life will be the best or the absolute worst. So let's talk about when random rec turns actually good. Just take a look at that possession, man. All 5 players touching the ball into an open shot. And while there are still some situations where a guy will just fail to hit his wide open shots, or even worse, take contested threes, it doesn't matter. When you have enough players on your team that's willing to play their role, like this man right here, Vern King, whoever you are, you were an absolute beast on defense, rejecting everything that came through that paint. So this is the random 5 that I first got into in my first game today. 3 silver plates including me and 2 black plates, which could go 50-50. It typically takes 1, 2, 3 possessions for you to kind of figure that out. But in this game, there were enough of us out there caring about the W that we settled into our roles and had ourselves a good game of team ball. First possession is again feeling out roles on defense, and this guy cosplaying as LaMelo Ball was actually pretty good at getting to the basket and hitting those shot creation threes. But the opposite is the other team couldn't settle into their defense, showing you already how the game might go and what the gaps are from a team perspective. Just take a look at how we cover each other in this possession to cover the different slips, rolls, and the different movements behind the screen to get us a transition bucket. Early in the game, it's pretty close. Once again, this guy cosplaying as LaMelo Ball was pretty effective in getting to the basket. And here's our center once again, Vern King, getting that offensive rebound, kicking it out, setting a screen, getting contact with it so that we can get a 3+1 possession. And it's looking pretty good for my team right here. And man, what did I tell you about my jump shot in those previous videos? Man, I do not care what type of contest is coming my way. Within reason, I'm willing to hoist that shot up and get that easy 3 because of how elite that jumper is. But once again, in these consecutive possessions, you will see how Vern King, our center, was actually really good at consecutively denying these attacks to the paint that will set the tone for the rest of the game. So 25-11 in the first quarter just by playing unselfish team ball on both sides of the floor. And as far as random rec experiences go, this was one of the best. People were spacing the floor, setting screens appropriately, whether they were off ball and on ball, cutting at the right time, and everyone willing to make the right pass. This is once again another example of great team defense that leads to an easy transition too. And from here, it was pretty elementary. We're now up 40-19 with the other team not having any chance because of how they played defense. And I was seeing our center doing some spot finder, acceleration, speed boosts into the corner, so we hit him for that wide open 3. Always make sure to reward your big man. Not only was he our anchor on defense, but also he was grabbing that rebound and making those outlet passes without a care. And I've only recently picked up the 6'8 build, the Paul George build once again. I haven't played it since I think season 5. But man, let me tell you something, it's really fun going up with a high strength build that's got a great perimeter game and excellent defense. It makes me flexible in what type of role I want to play regardless of who I'm matched up with. There were some games where I would only score around 4 to 5 points, but I'd play my role on defense, and some situations where I'm the secondary ball handler but the primary shot creator, while being an anchor on defense on the perimeter. So first game in the books, I think I finished this game with around 27 points and 6 assists. But more importantly, everybody got to do their stuff. And I think that's one of the most rewarding random rec experiences. As you can see here, the dude Vern King had a 20-20-9 with 6 blocks. That is an insane stat line and shows you the quality of player that he is. He was our anchor on defense, excellent from the perimeter and on the inside, and was a great presence on the court. And when things are going good, you got to run it back for a second game. There was only one guy who got replaced, but it was actually a blessing because the guy who replaced him was a pretty good spot-up two-way threat. And we already know what's gonna happen when this guy does the Kyrie dribble style dance. They're gonna dance around those screens, but this build is really good defensively, allowing us to get a 100% contest. And let me tell you, man, if you're gonna make one of these little ass builds with no defense At this stage in the game, you got to be elite offensively. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep targeting you on offense. And in that situation, the big was forced to double team and I sent it to my center for an easy 3. Here, no double team comes. We stay patient, go for that little Kobe shimmy fade, and that's an easy 2 points. And man, I love this possession because it showcases the unselfishness of our entire team. Everyone got a touch, leading into an easy 3-point shot that set the tone for the rest of the game. And look at this, man. I thought this guy was going to close out hard, but I hesitated a little bit and I said, well, I don't care. With this new jump shot, I'm going to make that shot anyway. And that was an easy contested 3-point shot. And take a look at this, man. Using the Devin Booker layup package, I use that slow Euro step similar to what Luka Doncic does. That slow step with that decel after going full speed. It really tricks your defender into jumping way earlier than they should, giving you an uncontested layup which would otherwise have been contested. And man, just take a look at this individual and team defense. Everyone playing their role to the T, looking out for each other and helping out when necessary, leading to a bad shot and into an easy transition opportunity. When everything is clicking on the offensive and defensive side of the floor, it generates a lot of positive energy, leading to a lot of passes to open teammates, easy buckets, willingness to be unselfish, and let everybody do their thing. Ideally, when you get into a good group of players, even though you're randoms, and this is Random Rec in Asia, where at any point, any of these 5 guys may be speaking different languages, but if you're all committed to playing basketball the right way, it's a hell of a fun experience, and I wish we could highlight these more in a community setting so we get more games like this. And shout out to the dude Kurt right here. He's our point guard, and for 2 games he was able to score a lot, but in the second game he said he'd only attempt 1 shot and basically set the floor up for the rest of his teammates. And man, he was a fun point guard to play with. Really good defensively, likes to attack the basket, and doesn't hesitate to pass it to his teammates when they're open. And before we close the game out, you know it's mandatory to make sure that we get some of that elite sauce in. Making sure we try to expand the game by trying out new combos, different setups to your 3-point shots, your pull-up jumpers, and every which way to diversify your options on offense. So there you have it, man. When Random Rec is good, and it's really good, it really gets you in a good mood to just go out there and play some serious basketball. Unfortunately, this is not always the norm, and a lot of content creators, myself included, choose to highlight the bad aspects of rec, when at times, given the right teammates, given the right situation, everything goes well and you have yourself a good game of basketball. Hopefully, as a community, we continue to grow, eliminate toxicity, and just play with positivity and trying to hoop in NBA 2K24.